Good morning. My name is Kevin O'Connor, and this is my presentation for ATSU DMSC Class 8130 Assessment and Evaluation Methods. For the next few minutes, I will be discussing pass-fail curricula and the pros and cons of using this type of grading system. I was interested in this topic because I don't know that much about pass-fail grading. Prior to my DMSC coursework at AT Still, I had never taken a pass-fail course, and honestly, I was always a little suspicious of the merits of pass-fail courses. When I learned that the DMSC coursework at AT Still was pass-fail, I was skeptical at first, but after reflecting on it, it began to make sense. Why would a doctoral course need to rank students? We're all PAs in this course. We've all proven ourselves academically many times over. So in this context, the notion of a pass-fail curriculum became appealing and alleviated some of the stress that I would normally have when starting coursework. This anecdote underscores some of the benefits of the pass-fail system. Before we begin our discussion, let's start with a short pretest to see how much you all know about pass-fail grading to have you start thinking about the concept. As this is a pre-recorded presentation, I will read each question and give you a moment to think about the answer. Question number 1. When did the pass-fail grading originate? If you are unsure, I added the car graphic as a hint to help you narrow your choices. Pass-fail grading began in the late 1960s, so it's been around for a while. In contrast, the 5-tiered A through F system was first instituted in 1897 at Mount Holyoke College. Question number 2. Which step of the United States medical licensing exam is now scored as pass-fail? The USMLE Step 1 score transitioned from numeric scoring to pass-fail on January 26 of this year. And as an aside, there are only 3 steps in the exam series. Question number 3 is an open-ended question. What do you think are some of the benefits of traditional 5-tier grading? Just ponder this question for a moment. One of the benefits is that it is the standard grading system, which means it is widely accepted and integrates well across systems. It also lends itself easily to ranking or categorizing student performance. Question number 4 is also open-ended. What do you think are some of the benefits of pass-fail grading? The main benefit is that it alleviates stress associated with academic competition and enhances student well-being. And question number 5 asks us to consider how student behavior may differ in a pass-fail curriculum versus a 5-tier grading system. Students in pass-fail grading systems tend to be less competitive and engage more in cooperative learning. So I hope you all did well in the pretest, or at a minimum, you identified your current knowledge base about pass-fail grading. As we begin our discussion, let's review the learning objectives for this training module, which include differentiating between pass-fail grading and traditional 5-tier grading, understanding the benefits of pass-fail grading, but also understanding the limitations, analyzing some of the research on pass-fail grading and medical education, and finally, examining considerations for implementing a pass-fail curricula. As we begin our discussion, it's important to ask, why does this matter? Why is it important to discuss pass-fail grading? Well, the reason is that pass-fail grading is becoming more prominent, especially in medical education. As we saw in the pretest, the USMLE transitioned to a pass-fail score for the Step 1 exam. And that's a big deal because it has huge impacts on how medical students are evaluated for internships and residencies. That change in process has repercussions throughout the medical system. Pass-fail grading also became more prominent throughout the non-medical education system in the context of the pandemic. One researcher documented 194 schools with pass-fail policies as of April 2020, right at the start of the pandemic. Some of these schools have since transitioned back to a 5-tiered system. However, in the wake of the pandemic, as schools expand digital learning in virtual classrooms, this shift in learning design could give way to changes in grading. So let's take a look at the 5-tiered grading system to see where the two systems differ. As we all know, the 5-tier system is the standard measure for didactic performance. It assigns a letter grade to performance percentages. There are many advantages to this approach, which is why it is widely used. 5-tier grading is the current standard, so it is nearly universally accepted across different institutions and professions. This system allows for easy comparison of students both within a program and between programs. This system also provides a simple metric for distributing scholarships, internships, and other academic awards. Programs can establish 5-tier benchmarks, which can easily filter out subpar candidates. Within a program, 5-tier grading is useful for identifying students in need of remediation and provides timely feedback about improvements in performance. One more important advantage to traditional grading is that it encourages competition among students as they vie for class rank and other incentives. As there's no perfect system for assessing student performance, 5-tier grading is not without disadvantages. Letter grades often lack substantive individualized assessment, which hinders transformative learning. There's also considerable variability when different institutions award point grades. Schools award grades based on a variety of factors. Some use point systems, while others award letter grades. This variability in grading reduces the validity of comparisons in 5-tier systems. Grade inflation is another disadvantage of 5-tier grading and reduces its validity. Evidence demonstrates that private schools have higher GPAs than public schools even when controlling for applicant selection. 5-tier grading may also lose objectivity over time as preceptors rotate. This tends to be more common with competency-based assessments. Academic outcomes may also be negatively affected by 5-tiered grading as students focus more on their grades than on their knowledge acquisition and skills performance. And finally, 5-tiered grading promotes competition among students. As you probably noted, this item was also listed as an advantage. And student competition is valuable as it promotes transformative learning. However, student competition can also inhibit cooperative learning. So in this context, 5-tier grading acts like a double-edged sword. In contrast to the traditional 5-tier grading system, we have the pass-fail grading system. As we discussed earlier, this system has been used in various parts of the education system since the 1960s and had a notable uptake in use during the pandemic. In this system, a student must perform above a specific threshold to successfully complete a learning activity. Scoring below the threshold leads to remediation or disenrollment. The primary benefit of using this pass-fail system is the alleviation of stress associated with grade competition. Now, that doesn't sound like a big deal, but it has considerable implications on the learning experience. Take PA school, for example. We all know that PA school is inherently stressful, as it should be. In many ways, stress is intentional, so students learn how to manage their time and resources. This helps prepare them for the PA profession, which is also inherently stressful. However, when contemplating the nature of grade competition, you can easily see how it can disrupt transformative learning. If students and faculty are focused on grades as a primary learning outcome, they can easily overlook other important learning milestones, like skills acquisition. Performance on a PA exam is not indicative of performance as a PA in a clinical setting. It merely serves as one of many surrogate markers of knowledge base. So in this context, pass-fail grading supports the learning process. Here's some notable research on pass-fail grading as it relates to student well-being. Bloodgood et al. Used self-reported data to assess a change from 5-tier grading to a pass-fail grading system at the University of Virginia School of Medicine from 2002 to 2007. The pass-fail students exhibited a significant increase in well-being during each of the first 3 semesters of medical school relative to the graded class. They also showed greater satisfaction with the quality of their medical education during the first 4 semesters of medical school and greater satisfaction with their personal lives during the first 3 semesters. The pass-fail classes showed no significant differences in performance in first and second year courses. Rowe et al. Addressed the effect of first-year pass-fail grading systems on stress, mood, group cohesion, and test anxiety in medical students at the Mayo Medical School. The authors compared 2 cohorts using a prospective design. The pass-fail students had less perceived stress and greater group cohesion than the 5-tier cohort. A systematic review of 9 studies by Spring et al. Found that student well-being is enhanced and objective academic performance is not adversely affected by a pass-fail system. Other advantages of the pass-fail system include promotion of cooperative and team-based learning. We know that when students are competing for grades and the subsequent academic rewards, they tend to engage less in team learning. This is concerning when we consider that PAs act as part of a healthcare team with close collaboration with physicians, nurses, and allied health professionals. PAs must learn how to perform as part of a team. One other notable advantage to pass-fail grading is that it embodies the lifelong learning that accompanies being a practicing PA. Throughout their careers, PAs, like other healthcare providers, must continue to acquire new knowledge and skills. This is done in the absence of academic reward, but as a part of professional development. Introducing this concept during initial PA instruction in the context of a pass-fail system solidifies this concept. There are numerous disadvantages to pass-fail grading, the most evident being that it becomes difficult to rank students in this system. While student ranking is not integral to pass-fail grading, it creates challenges when students apply to academic programs that rely on GPA to assess candidates. Additionally, remediation becomes difficult without knowing the extent to which a student struggled with the material. When no numerical grade is assigned, the student and faculty are limited in their response. Pass-fail programs may also be viewed as being less rigorous than their similar academic programs that use 5-tier grading. Some pass-fail programs use a modified system to offset some of the disadvantages. One example is grading thresholds, which rank student performance by high honors and low pass. Another example is allowing students to know their numeric scores while only recording the pass-fail results. Now that we've compared the two systems and discussed their benefits and weaknesses, let's look at what the literature can show us. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of current research on pass-fail grading in PA curricula. One study from the Journal of PA Education reviewed the effects of switching from a 5-tier system to a pass-fail curriculum on PACRAT and PAN scores. The study compared 2 cohorts from the traditional grading system to 2 cohorts from the pass-fail system. Results showed no harm on student competency on the exams, despite a slight reduction in exam scores. Notably, the change in scores was consistent with the literature showing a similar pattern when programs first shift to pass-fail. The study was limited to one PA program, and a shift in blueprint content between the cohorts introduced variability in the results. The study did not assess program retention rates or impacts of graded systems on stress or cooperative learning, but it supports the notion that pass-fail grading is not academically inferior to 5-tier grading in PA programs. A similar larger study at a medical school had similar results. A 5-tier cohort was compared to a pass-fail cohort on the overall academic performance was similar, and the overall academic performance was similar. The researchers compared multiple academic data points for each cohort, including undergraduate GPA, MCAT scores, and Step 1 scores. The researchers went as far as recommending a pass-fail curriculum for the first year of medical school due to the positive effects on well-being. Notably, the pass-fail curriculum was limited to only the first year of school to provide more data to residency directors. As the results show, there is substantial benefit to pass-fail curricula. Student well-being and cooperative learning is enhanced with no adverse impact on academic performance. The challenges of a pass-fail grading are mainly programmatic and may require creative adaptations from program directors. While more research is needed to expand the discussion on how PA programs are affected by pass-fail grading, it is a feasible option that should be considered by PA program directors. Our post test is 3 open-ended questions which I ask you to post to the discussion board. Question number 1. As a PA program director, you have decided to transition from traditional 5-tier grading to a pass-fail curriculum. You realize the transition will consume resources such as time, money, and person power. The transition will require new policies to be written, and the faculty and staff will require training. Additionally, prospective students will have to be made aware of the change, which may require distributing updated materials. How would you convince the dean to allot resources to this transition? What benefits of a pass-fail curriculum would you highlight? In your response, compare the benefits of traditional grading with pass-fail grading. Question number 2, what are your thoughts regarding pass-fail curricula that incorporate performance categories like high honors and low pass? Do you feel these classifications contradict the intent of the pass-fail system, or do they add value? Question number 3, consider your experience as a PA student. Assuming your program used traditional grading, what impact do you think a pass-fail curriculum would have on student behavior? How would a pass-fail system have affected your experience as a PA student? If your program used a pass-fail system, do you feel that it was an advantage or a disadvantage? Would you have preferred the traditional 5-tier system? Thank you very much for your attention today. I hope you found this presentation insightful. Please contact me on the discussion board if you have any questions, comments, or concerns.